Welcome to all of you. In today's video, we will know about the three literary terms. First, beat writers. Second, biography. Third, black art movement from the book A Glossary of Literary Terms written by M.H. Abraham. So let us start with first one, that is beat writers. Beat writers identifies a loose knit group of poets and novelists in the second half of the 1950s and early 1960s who shared a set of social attitudes, anti establishment, anti political, anti intellectual, opposed to the prevailing cultural, literary, and moral values, and in favor of unfettered self realization and self expression. The beat writers often performed in coffee houses and other public places to the accompaniment of drums or jazz music. Beat was used to signify both beaten down and beatific. The group included such diverse figures as the poet Allen Ginsberg, Gregoriano Corso, and Laurence Ferlinghetti, and the novelist William Burroughs and Jack Kerouac. Ginsberg's Howl, published in 1956, is a central beat achievement in its breathless, chanted celebration of the down and out and the subculture of drug addicts, social misfits, and compulsive wanderers, as well as in representing the derangement of the intellect and the sense of affected by sexual abandon, drugged hallucinations, and religious ecstasies. A representative novel of the movement is Jack Kerouac's On the Road, published in 1958. While the beat movement was short lived, it left its imprint on the subjects and forms of many writers of the 1960s and 1970s. Now, next term is biography. Late in the 17th century, John Dryden defined biography neatly as the history of a particular men's lives. The name now connotes a relatively full account of a particular person's life, involving the attempt to set forth character, temperament, and milieu, as well as the subject's activities and experiences. Both the ancient Greek and Romans produced short formal lives of individuals. The most famed surviving example is the parallel lives of Greek and Roman notables by the great writers Plutarch in the century 46th century and 120 AD. In the translation by Sir Thomas North in 1579, it was the source of Shakespeare's play on the Roman subjects. Medieval authors wrote generalized chronicles of deeds of a king as well as the hagiographies. The stylized lives of Christian saints, often based more on pious legends than on fact. In England, the fairly detailed secular biography appeared in the 17th century. The most distinguished, distinguished insular biography appeared in the 17th century. Secular biography appeared in the 17th century. The most distinguished instance is Isaac Walton's Lives, written between 1640 and 1678. The 18th century in England is the age of emergence of the full scale biography and also the theory of biography as a special literary genre. It was the century of Samuel Johnson's Lives of the English Poet, published in 1778, 1779, and 81. And of the best known of all biographies, James Boswell's Life of Samuel Johnson, published in 1791. In our own time, biographies of notable women and men have become one of the most popular of literary forms, and usually there is at least one biographical title high on the bestseller list. Autobiography is a biography written by the subject about himself or herself. It is to be distinguished from the memoir, in which the emphasis is not on the author's developing self but on the people and events that the author has known or witnessed, and also from the private diary or journal, which is a day to day record of events in one's life written for personal use and satisfaction with little or no thought of publication. Examples of later type are the 17th century diaries of Samuel Pepys and John Evelyn, the 18th century journals of James Boswell and Fanny Burney, and Dorothy Wordsworth's remarkable journals written in 1798 and 1828 but not published until long after her death. The first fully developed autobiography is also the most influential, the Confessions of St. Augustine, written in the 4th century. The design of this profound and subtle spiritual autobiography centers on what became the crucial experience in Christian autobiography. The author's anguished mental crisis and recovery and conversion, in which he discovers his Christian identity and religious vocation. Michel de Montaigne's essays, published in 1580 and in later expansions, constitutes in their sum and first great instance of autobiographical self-revelation that is presented for its inherent interest rather than for religious and didactic purposes. Among later distinguished achievements in primary secular autobiography are Rousseau's Confessions, written in 1764 and 70, Goethe's Dictung and Fahrenheit, published Meaning, Poetry and Truth, written in 1810 to 1831, the autobiographies of Benjamin Franklin, Henry Adams, C.N.O. Sassy, Lillian Hellman, and Gertrude Stein, published in 1933 under the title Autobiography of Alice B. Toklas, and the Autobiography of Malcolm X, 1964. Many spiritual histories of the self, however, like John Bunyan's Grace Abounding to the chief of sinners, means Grace Abounding to the Chief of Sinners, published in 1666, followed Augustine's example of religious self revelation centering on a crisis and conversion. An important offshoot of this type are secular autobiographies that represent a spiritual crisis which is resolved by the author's discovery of his identity and vocation, not as a Christian but as a poet or artist. Examples are Wordsworth's autobiography in verse, The Prelude, completed in 1805, published in a revised form in 1850, or the partly autobiographical verse of prose fiction such as Marcel Proust's A la Recherche du Temps Perdu, published in 1913, 27. James Joyce's Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, published in 1915. Then the Ralph Ellison's The Invisible Man, published in 1965. In recent years, the distinction between autobiography and fiction has become more and more blurred, as authors include themselves under their own names in the novels and autobiographies are written in the asserted mode of fiction, or like Maxim Hawkinson's The Woman Warrior, published in 1975, mingle fiction and personal experiences as a way to get at one's essential life story. So, on biography, Donald's A Stuffer English Biography Before, published in 1700, and The Art of Biography in the 18th century England. So, these are the examples. Now, next term is Black Art Movement. Black Art Movement designates number of African American writers whose work was shaped by the social and political turbulence of the 1960s. The decade of massive protest against the Vietnam War, militant demands for the rights of blacks that led to repeated and sometimes violent confrontations, and the riots and burnings in Los Angeles, Detroit, Newark, and other major cities. The literary movement was associated with the Black Power movement in politics, whose spokesmen, including Stokely Carmichael and Malcolm X, opposed the proponents of integration and instead advocated black separatism, black pride, and black solidarity. Representatives of black arts put their literary writings at the service of those social and political aims. As Larry Neal put it in his essay, The Black Arts Movement, published in 1968, black art is the aesthetic and spiritual sister of black power concept. As such, it envisions an art that speaks directly to the needs and aspirations of black America and to the Afro American desire for self determination and nationhood. So the black aesthetic is also a word. The black aesthetic that was voiced or supported by writers in the movement rejected as aspects of domination by white culture, the high art, and the modernist forms advocated by Ralph Ellison and other African American writers in 1950s. Instead, the black aesthetic called for the exploitation of the energy and freshness of the black vernacular in rhythms and moods emulating jazz and the blues, applied especially to the lives and concerns of lower class blacks and addressed especially to the black mass audience. The most notable influential practitioner of the black arts was Imamu Amiri Baraka, born in Leroy Jones, who after an early period as an associate in the Greenwich Village of Allen Ginsberg and the other beat writers, moved to Harlem, where he founded the Black Art Repertory Theatre or School in 1965. Baraka was distinguished as a poet, a dramatist, and his play Dutchman is often considered as exemplary product of the black art achievement. He was a political essayist and a critic, both of literature and of jazz music. Among other notable writers of the movement were the poets Etheridge Knight, Sonia Sands, Haki Madhubuti, and Nikki Giovanni. The authors of prose fiction John Alfred Williams, Edridge Cleaver, and James Allen McPherson, and the playwrights Paul Carter Harrison and Ed Wilson. The revolutionary impetus of black arts movement and had diminished by in the 1970s, and some of its pronouncement and achievements now seem undisciplined and crudely propagandistic, but its best writings survive, and their critical rationale and subject matter have served as models not only to later African American writers but also the Native American, Latino, Asian, and other ethnic writers in America. For the later emergence on the popular level of anti-establishment poetry of African American uh, uh, African Americans. So the black aesthetic includes essays that were imported in establishing this mode of criticism by Ron Karenga, Don Lee, and L. Lee, and Larry Nell, as well as by Gayle himself. So this is all about the three terms: beat writers, biography, and black art movements. So thanks a lot for watching this video. If you liked this video, do comment, do share, and do subscribe. Thanks a lot once again for watching this video.